Hi, moguls. It's Dr. T here, and I'm coming to you with some upgrades for today. And I'm really excited to just take you through an upgrade all about how to be able to hold boundaries with a narcissist and just be able to create an amazing, healthy relationship. Okay, so this is our focus for today, and I want to just have you really connect to the upgrade that we're making because this is an amazing mogul upgrade today. And this is about being a top level leader, a top level mogul, a powerful influencer in your reality, and someone who can hold boundaries with both narcissistic people and anyone in general, and literally be able to just have so much more healthy relationships that are much more intentional. And this is a big issue because at this time in the world, there are more narcissistic people on the planet than ever before. So we have to operate at our top level of self leadership in order to be able to thrive at a time when these kind of narcissistic people are showing up in our lives. And we need to be able to hold strong boundaries with them, which is another way of saying need to be able to hold our intentions for our ideal reality when these kinds of people show up. We need to do that in general, but we need to do that when these kinds of people show up. So it's a very important focus. It is a top mogul level focus. It is how we could also formulate relationships that are power couple partnerships, either with someone that you might be having a life partnership with, or people that you might have like a business partnership with, or let's get real, every one of our relationships is a type of partnership. And we need to be able to have more of a powerful, purposeful partnership instead of having relationships with narcissistic people who cross our boundaries and we have to hold our boundaries with them. So we're going to really make sure that the result of this upgrade for you is that you can absolutely hold your boundaries with people that are trying to cross them, which are typically the narcissist. So it's important to know, one of the steps in this process is that it's important to know that there are lots of narcissistic people more than ever before. Some people are full-blown narcissists, and some people have the traits, and some people are on the way to being one, but we've got to understand why this is also being created so you can hold your boundaries with them. For many decades now, we have been becoming a society that is simultaneously more informed, but simultaneously sicker and more mentally ill, or what we could call brain illness. There are more people who have deep sensitivities, insecurities, and struggles in being a person. And it's important to know that out of all the processes that can happen when someone is deeply, deeply sensitive, very vulnerable, fearful, and insecure, is that one of the processes that can happen is that their massive set of defense mechanisms that's forming throughout their life can form into a fixed personality, which is a narcissistic personality. What that means is that those people are so fearful of being rejected, being neglected, not being good enough, not being in control of reality because they've been so injured in their trajectory from the time they were little, that while some people become more empathetic and people pleasing, some people become more protected, some people become more manipulative, and some people become more unable to actually connect with people in real healthy relationships And those people that become more narcissistic are people that tend to seek control over other people because they're trying to control reality, having felt out of control most of their lives. These people will seek to cross your boundaries in order to get their needs met. They will seek to create a version of reality that is entirely made up by them to be the one that they wish it to be. They will seek supply off of you and your energy because they don't have what they need inside of them and they don't know how to get it. So, narcissistic people are the ones that tend to be the most manipulative, the most controlling, and the most presenting of a particular persona, and people who are the most willing to alter other people's senses of reality about them and about situations, and they will seek to manipulate and control people into giving them what they need because they have not ever been able to learn how to do that for themselves. And in that process, because they are entirely injured, traumatized, sensitive, insecure, and have built up a massive persona to keep people from seeing that and rejecting them, it makes them unable to interact with people in a healthy way. And they seek to continue to manipulate people's sense of them, their sense of reality, and they seek to get them into a relationship with them where they are controlling the narrative and they are controlling the power, and they do what's called hook up to somebody as a source of supply to try to meet these unmet needs, to try to have those unmet needs heal, which is a ass backwards way to do that, as a result of extracting from other people the very aspects of themselves that they have not yet learned, figured out, or been able to develop in themselves. Now, having been in relationships with these kinds of people, I can tell you that the number one thing that they are looking for, subconsciously and consciously, is people who are willing to let themselves be controlled, manipulated, and have their boundaries crossed. They are people that will seek control at all costs and in every way, shape, or form. They are people who will seek to rewrite the narrative of what is occurring, suck people into that, and effectively, they are predators to the prey, and they connect with the world's most empathetic and caring people, extracting the very empathy out of them, the resources, the supply, maybe money. They are seeking to extract that energy out of people through any form of manipulation that needs to happen in order to get those needs met, so that these people will see them as powerful, putting them on a pedestal, and they get to be right, and they effectively recruit people into the experience to meet unmet childhood needs and heal traumas without ever admitting that. These people are very, very effective, and the way you can recognize them in the simplest way is that when they start to feel that they cannot control something, they begin to assert control over people and situations through a number of things that they do. Sometimes it's referred to as like love bombing, gaslighting, and also any deflecting, turning, flipping the script. And they are the people who, whenever you try to assert your truth, who you are, what your intentions are, and your sense of reality, they will literally begin to try to alter that and counter that and take back control of that so they can have control over you because you have become the supply, or they're attempting to make that happen. Having had that done to me in a couple of romantic partnerships, because I am profoundly empathetic, and having had that in my family system, having come from more of a narcissistic family system where control of the narrative, control of the conversation, control of the reality was paramount to people who are my elders, having gone through a lot of tragedy and trauma and feeling very out of control, and abandonment and things like that, feeling very out of control. I can tell you, I know it firsthand, and how you can start to hold healthy boundaries with a narcissistic person and create amazing, healthy, intentional relationships is you first must recognize that these people exist. And if you are a very good, empathetic, caring, compassionate, kind, intentional person, you are a target for these people. They are the predator and you are the prey. So let's first decide you're not going to be the prey. These people are also well disguised in ways that are projecting a persona rather than being an authenticity. So the more you can feel someone's authenticity, the more you know you're with a healthier person. If you feel someone is like creating some version of reality and feeding it to you, you know you may be in the presence of that kind of predatory narcissistic energy, seeking supply, seeking to manipulate you and supply off of you. That's the other part, which is that they're very, very manipulative because they need to bring you into their world, get you effectively supplying for them what it is they feel that they need, which is typically a level of energy, resources, and someone to participate in the story of how great they are, and feed that. And they need what's called a supply. And you need to be recognizing when that is occurring and when you're experiencing that type of feeling. These are not people that love to share the spotlight, share the, being fabulous, being awesome, and feeling great. And the more you try to feel good, have self-esteem, assert your truth, assert your perspective, that these people do what they can to downgrade people, alter their sense of reality, make them feel lesser, and continue to extract supply out of them while gaining more and more control over them until they ultimately have someone who is willing to give up their power, surrender it, make them almost godlike in their prioritizing of them, and feed and nourish that narcissistic being with whatever it is that they demand. So it's important to recognize that these people are everywhere and when that is happening to you, so you can hold a boundary and know that you're not letting these people into your world. Now, in addition, how you hold a boundary, besides recognizing when this is happening, is to stay in your intentions. These people are experts at pulling you in, taking you off track, and making their intentions your priority instead of your intentions your priority. So one of the other important skills is that you're clear about your intentions, where you are heading for the future, exactly what that is for you, so that you're staying focused on your priorities and you don't allow these kind of predatory people to take you off track and make their priorities your priorities. Very important. These people are people where you can hold boundaries with them when you start to recognize all these different manipulative tactics. These are people who never say they're sorry. These are people that never take accountability, never take responsibility, never share in the responsibility of something being co-created. The only thing that's acceptable for them is to feel powerful and in control, and that other people are lesser than them. So they can manipulate them into participating in their reality in the way that feeds their unmet needs that are typically like a black hole. These people are absolutely, it's very necessary for you to recognize what is going on. And when you start to get an inclination that you are in the presence of one of these people, assuming that you can, I invite you to go in the other direction towards your intentions and to disconnect from the situation. Now, most things in life, when we're really honest with ourselves, we absolutely can make those shifts. And I encourage you to make them and move forward in the correct direction of your intentions. Many people, myself included, have felt that they could somehow, I don't know, somehow that they could almost like tackle the narcissist and their issues, or be more strategic and be more capable than they are of the manipulative tactics that they do. But I'm here to tell you that the longer you stay in connection with a narcissist, the more you will become like one and eventually get trapped in their cycle. To recognize that, to every degree possible, whoever it is in your life, if you can go the other direction, which is typically you can, unless it's like taking care of a child that has become one, and that's a different story for another time. To understand that more than likely any engagement with these people, because their wounds, their insecurity, and the depth of their emptiness and misery and trauma is so vast, and they refuse to acknowledge it and address it and get the help that they need, as narcissists never show up in therapy, rarely if ever. You could try, as people have, to service what is ultimately a black hole where there will be no ROI and no reward and no happy ending. You could attempt that, as many people do, because they're so enamored by the narcissist and so sucked in by them that they just keep pouring into them. I encourage you to recognize that out of all the most important skills in your life that you could possibly have, holding boundaries with the narcissist by 100% knowing who they are, that they are in your presence, and literally moving in the other direction toward your intentions and away from them, is the ultimate, not only survival strategy, but strategy for thriving. These people are typically fixed in their position in these traits and their expression, and you've got more important things to do. Now, you hold your boundaries not by trying to explain this all to these people, because it's unlikely that you will get anywhere. They are masters at turning the tables on you and deflecting. And if you have someone doing that and deflecting and making everything your fault, you know you're certainly in their presence. It is powerful to recognize when one of these people has somehow entered your field of reality, and to know that the most important thing that you can do is to detox them out of it. And you do that by putting instead the type of situations, people, places, experience, and priorities and creations and your intentions that are your priority, and recognizing that the better you are as a person, the more amazing you are, the more that these people will show up to try to access that from you. And you must be diligent in maintaining your energy field, what they refer to as holding your boundaries, and recognizing if someone has crossed a line into your operating system and your energy field, and literally disengage move in the direction of your intentions, and save yourself a massive amount of time, pain, and struggle, and literally cost to your bottom line. These people are better, even the world's top therapists are not even typically a match for these people. And most psychologists, therapists, and coaches like myself don't even want these people to come into our practices and companies because this is not the best use of our effort. Typically, when we put any one of us in the world, when we put our effort into our truest intentions and we disengage, filling up that person's tank, which is what they're wanting you to do, you will help yourself, your family, your company, your priorities, your whole life if you put it into where there is actually the ability for there to be a mutually beneficial relationship. The more of us that do this, and the more of us who understand that we're in a video game with more of the narcissists walking the earth than ever, injured people that are very, very capable of injuring you in very dangerous ways and destructive ways, that you may, if you engage further, you may never recover from it. Better to know that that is happening. Trust yourself before they get more of a grip on you and move in the direction of your highest intentions and what that's all about. Thanks, everyone, for taking this upgrade in, learning how to hold your boundaries with a narcissist, and have the most incredible, healthy relationships that you can possibly have.